What is up everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be going through a very basic color grade that I would do to turn this footage to this. So let's hop over into Davinci and I'll run you through my whole process. So as you can see, we have a clip here. It's just a nice shot of the sun through the leaves at a park on a nice sunny day. So let's drag it into our timeline, and I'm actually going to quickly slow this down to a considerably slower pace because I shot this at 120 FPS and I wanted that nice slow-mo effect. And we're going to use probably this frame right here. So let's hop over into our color tab. So initially we know that we have our node system here. If you don't know what a node is, go search it up somewhere else. I'm not the person to answer what a node is. Also, before I start, I wanted to let you guys know that I am not a colorist by any standard. I'm very new to color grading. I'm simply showing you guys the steps I go through, and if you guys have tips for me, please let me know down below because I am not good at color grading yet. I'm still learning and it's a process that's gonna take ages, but I'm really enjoying it right now. So yeah, let me know down below if you guys have any other tips. I usually start by adding 4 to 5 nodes because it depends what I'm about to edit, and usually I'll set them up with different sort of labels. So this first one will obviously be the color space transform. This is where we convert our footage into Rec 709. And then the next node will be any basic adjustments we do to the footage. So this could include exposure, contrast, shadows, using the tone curve, temperature, saturation, all that sort of stuff. Then our third node, typically what I use it for is any masking I want to do. If any certain parts of the image require a slight change that I don't want the whole image to be affected by, then I'll use that node for that. And then the fourth one is just adding a vignette. I think a vignette a lot of the time helps pull focus to the center and the subject matter of the image, so I really like to add vignettes onto a lot of my footage. Now you're probably wondering, Ruben, why aren't you using a LUT? Why don't you apply a LUT to your footage? And I'm gonna be honest, I don't really see why I need to. I think that the basic adjustments do a better job than doing my Rec 709 conversion and then adding a LUT. I think that, I don't know, I prefer to just use basic adjustments, but I might be completely wrong. There might be a reason why using LUTs is good. We're gonna do our color space transform, head up to effects in the top right. You can search for it or we can just find it under Resolve FX color. Here it is, color space transform. Then you need to put in all the data that you shot your footage in. So this is the color space, the gamma, all that sort of stuff. You can find this out on your camera pretty easily. So I shot this, it's a Sony S gamut. Then I shot it in S-Log2. So already we can see that it brings back a lot of the detail. My output color space is Rec 709, and then I know my gamma output is gamma 2.2. So that's done. We have converted to Rec 709. Next, we go to our basic adjustments. Now we can close our effects tab here because we have all our basic adjustments down here on the bottom. I don't really have an order in the way I go about using my basic adjustments and editing the image. It's a lot of just figuring out what the image looks like right now and what I think I need to add to it or take away from it. So already I can see that it's pretty okay with the contrast. I think the shadows can be brought down a little bit to crunch that, make it a bit more textured or a bit more, you know, sharp, I guess you could say. So I like to always bring down my shadows a bit, is nice. And already the leaves kind of create a silhouette because of the light behind it, and I think that looks quite nice. And next, I probably will do some temperature. I like to add a little bit of a warmer hue to it. I used to be obsessed with cooler tones and just using cooler tones. And then sooner or later, I just started using warmer tones and I was like, this is so much nicer. Like, I want to just use warm tones now. Oftentimes we can see that our highlights right now are pretty, not underexposed, but they're a little bit weak because we can see that color is starting to form around here, and also it's got that kind of dim kind of sky. It looks a little bit off, so we can just bring up a little bit of highlights, just a little bit, just so we can bring back some of that shine in the sky. Now, contrast on Davinci is actually quite different to contrast on Premiere, I found. Premiere, when you use contrast, it brings back a lot of detail, whereas in Davinci, it kind of just crushes the image a bit, and I'm not too fond of that, so I don't really use contrast a heap. Also, our exposure is looking all right, actually. I think it's pretty accurate. I don't think we're missing anything too bad. So already we can see that this is our original footage. We went Rec 709, basic adjustments. Already looks a heap better, in my opinion. I kind of want to bring a little bit of saturation. I think it's always good to add a little bit of saturation into your footage if you shoot it in log or in some sort of color profile that's super unsaturated, because so much saturation gets taken away when you shoot in log or in Sony 4 or whatever you're shooting in. I still think our highlights could go up a little bit. This is the thing. This is not like another color grading video. This is literally just me going about how I would usually color grade. Looking at the footage and being like, should I add this? No, yes, maybe, yeah, you know. Like that's just how I color grade a lot of the time. All right, so next what we're gonna do is we're gonna add the vignette onto our third node. So to do this, we'll head up to effects in the top right and we'll search for vignette in our effects panel. We'll find it under film emulation and we can just drag it onto our node. And obviously it's gonna be super strong when we apply it. So we can just change around the values. I'm gonna reduce the size. This is just like the shape of it, I believe. And the softness, obviously we want the softest possible. So we'll probably keep it up to around there. Perfect. I'm pretty happy with that. It's very subtle, nothing too crazy. It just pulls attention into the center. There you go. Just a little bit on the outside, just to pull focus to the center. Now, because I'm not doing any masking on this image, because I don't think there is any need for any masking, I can actually get rid of this fourth node. I mean, I don't really have to, but we'll get rid of it. And then the last thing I do is I add a glow effect to my footage. Now, this isn't all my footage, but for this clip, I think it will look really good. Shots with a lot of strong highlights are really good to add glow to. So for this, we can just head back to the editing page, select our clip, and then head over to effects in the top left, find the glow effect, and then just apply it onto our clip. Then all we need to do is play around with our shine threshold and the size itself until we find something that we like. All right, well, I think I'm pretty happy with how that turns out. So I'd probably just export it from here and then I'd be good to do whatever with it. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this raw and unfiltered sort of way of how I color grade. If you've got any tips, please let me know down below, because I'm not a colorist. I'm just doing this stuff because I enjoy doing it, and I'm not a professional by any standards. But yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one.